Wonderful. Well, thank you. I love doing the introductions at the beginning because already you guys can start to get a little feel for what goes on in our programs. It's very common to have people from all around the world, from the private sector, from who are educators, who are from the running NGOs. That is the mix that happens in pretty much all we do. And we think that it enriches a lot of the learning. So maybe what we can do, we knew that would take a little bit of time at the beginning, but I think it's always worth it to get to see who's in the room. And now maybe Paula, you can go ahead and share. We have a bit of a presentation we want to share with you guys, and please feel free at any point to unmute yourself, put something in the chat box. Whenever you have a question, you can interrupt us or we'll make space at the end as well.
Yeah, exactly. As Julia said, we want to make this conversational. So don't be shy if you have a question or you want more information, just let us know. But we're just going to take you through some of the background about UPEACE and then talk a little bit about the diploma programs and then some of our upcoming courses that you can look into. So just a little bit about the University for Peace. It's called, this hidden gem in Costa Rica. It was established in 1980 by the General Assembly of the United Nations. And basically, we have about 150 master's students, very diverse crowd, representing over 50 countries and various master's programs. And then we also have, again, this wider mission with the university around the objectives of the United Nations. And Julia is actually an alum as well of the University for Peace Master's Program. And I'll let you talk a little bit more about the center.
So within the University for Peace, Paul and I are part of what we call the Center for Executive Education. And basically, we're a department within the university that is working on professional development opportunities. We believe a lot, if you guys are familiar with Simon Sinek, the leadership guru, he talks a lot about starting with your why, starting with not what you do, but why you do it, that's a really great way to identify with people and share values. So at the center, we really believe that everybody in this world has the potential to make a positive influence on the world around them. And everybody has their own unique passions and strengths that they're bringing to the table. So what we're trying to do is offer a platform to give people the skills, the knowledge, and part of it is also the inspiration to take what they have inside and go forward into their community or their sphere of influence and have a positive impact on the world.
Great. All right. So now we're going to ask you a quick question, and you can put it in the chat box. How much do you know about the UPEACE programs? If you put in 1, nothing at all. 2, somewhat familiar. And 3, very familiar. Go ahead and put it in the chat. All right, got some 1s and 2s.
All right.
That makes sense. That's why you're here. Great. Okay, sounds good.
See if we can teach you a little today. Okay, so we're going to talk with you guys specifically about 2 diploma programs. And Marnie, just to tell you up front, the one that you're interested in is not through the Center for Executive Education. So we're not going to be able to address any specific questions you have around the one that's about human rights. The ones that we do at the Center for Executive Education, we'll go into in a minute, but we have a diploma in social innovation and a global leadership diploma. And what is a diploma? So what we have set up for our diploma programs is that they are professional development programs. They're very practical instead of academic. They're made for people who want to be making change. And they consist of taking 5 courses, which can be done on-site, online, or a mix of the 2. Most people do it online because they're joining from all around the world, but those who have access to Costa Rica often choose to take 1 or 2 on-site with us here at the University for Peace. And you have up to 18 months to do it, although some people finish much more quickly than that. For each of the 2 diploma programs, there's 1 requisite course and the rest are electives. So it's made to be very versatile so that, as I said, we have people coming from all different sectors and with different priorities. And the idea is that you figure out what you need by talking to our program specialists and figuring out what's the best fit, and then go from there. And another integral part of the program is that you get 3 coaching sessions, which sort of allow you to set goals and intentions for the program and make sure that your learning translates into more than just a series of one-off courses, but really changes your life and your career.
Yeah, and just to add to that, I think one of the things that people really like about the diploma programs is how flexible they are. As Julia said, you can pick and choose the majority of the courses that best fit what you're doing, your objectives, your goals. And it's also very flexible in terms of timing. 18 months is really, a good amount of time. And like Julia said, not everyone takes that amount. But what you can do is plan your courses around things going on in your life. For example, let's say you have a busy April. You can wait to take a course until May or later in August. And so I think that in terms of a working professional or a full-time student, this program is meant to bend around your schedule and your needs. So. All right, gonna move on to show you a little bit more about the diploma in social innovation. So as Julia said, there's one required course. The one for this diploma in particular is entrepreneurship, innovation, and social change. This diploma is more geared for people who want to start a social project or a social business. And it's a way to get it going and get it growing. And so basically the outcome from this particular course is that you will have a full-blown business plan to really execute on for your project or your business that you're hoping to launch. Or it could be an entrepreneurship, for example, in an already existing organization, a project that you're starting as well. So that's kind of the distinction here with this diploma. And then I'll let Julia talk a little bit about the global leadership diploma.
So the other option, when we began, we only offered the diploma in social innovation. And in fact, there's still a lot of overlap in terms of the courses that you can take. But what we realized somewhere along the way was that we had a lot of different types of people who were interested in these programs. And we needed a more open option for people who didn't want to start something, people who were working with their company for 10 years and loved it, and were simply looking for a way to do it better, have more purpose, apply themselves in a way that felt more meaningful to them. And so we decided to open up the Global Leadership Diploma as well. And so the required course for the Global Leadership Diploma can be one of 2 leadership courses. There's one called Positive Leadership that's more about starting with yourself, understanding what causes well-being in one's own self, and then how to take that outwards towards a team and towards an organization. And then there's also a course called Regenerative Leadership that is more broad in that it's about leading in a way that is sustainable for future generations. So how can I build the Sustainable Development Goals from the United Nations into the very heart of my project? How can I make sure that I'm doing things in a way that is going to be beneficial far beyond my personal reach as a leader? So you can choose between one of those, or you can take them both if you want to. And then you still get to have the full range of electives that you're choosing beyond that.
Great. And no matter which track you take, really both diplomas are designed to take where you're at, your goals and your objectives to the next level. And it's not just in, take these courses and, learn these things. It's a very much a personal approach. As Julia mentioned, you're going to have a personalized coaching session, in fact, 3 during your program. So that's to supplement the courses that you're taking that you'll be able to choose as well. So again, both tracks, sometimes people don't know how to decide. We're here to help you, but in the end, it is really up to you. What do you want to focus on? And what do you want to accomplish? So just a little bit more about the coaching sessions. We do personally match you with a qualified coach. It is confidential. You'll have hour-long sessions. It is front-loaded towards the beginning of your program. So for example, if you want to start in the 15 March cohort, you actually don't even need to start your first course around that time. Basically, what you will do is get started with the orientation. You'll get to meet the other people in your cohort, just like we're conversing right now and getting to know, your peers. And then you will be matched with your coach right up front, and you'll be able to start these sessions to really focus in on your goals.
Okay, so who's in these programs and why do they take them? Big question, right? We actually have been trying really hard to analyze this ourselves, and we love to share this information because it shows the diversity of what is going on in the courses. If you look on the right-hand side here, you see the sectors that are represented. Corporate and NGOs are almost evenly matched, interestingly enough. Lots of social entrepreneurs, of course, because of the Diploma in Social Innovation. But we also do have a really strong group of educators and a really strong group of government employees as well. So it's a big mix, and people are doing it for different reasons. We get a lot of people who just say they want to build their skills and are looking for professional development opportunities. Those who are starting a project or an organization are usually looking for really concrete skills. I need to know how to write a monitoring and evaluation plan. I need to know how to do fundraising. And then for those who are in the private sector or have different types of jobs, it can be more around skills like leading teams and managing yourself within that. And then another huge group of people who come through are experiencing some sort of transition in their lives and are looking for that next step and trying to figure out how to get it going. And then this can be a great platform for that.
All right. And who is in the diploma program? All right. So we have a very diverse crowd, participants from all over the world. Similar to kind of, this microcosm that we have in this webinar. But I wanted to ask you guys, what do you think are the top represented countries, the top 4 represented countries? Put it in the chat box.
Anyone want to hazard a guess? It's a fun game.
What are the top countries represented?
You can unmute and say something too if you want to, if you have a guess. The US, Sally says, okay, that's one of our top 4. Good, solid choice. There are a couple that are pretty easy, and then there are a couple that are like really hard. Canada's a good choice, but no, Costa Rica is one of them. Good job, Debbie. Yep, we're located in Costa Rica, so it makes it a solid bet. Ooh, Brazil. Good thought, but no. We can tell you the other 2. What's funny, if anyone, I don't think anyone in this room has taken a class with us. If you had, you might have an idea because you see it. But Mexico, UK, we do get a lot from Mexico. We get some from Europe. Interestingly enough, the #1 country represented in our diploma programs is Trinidad and Tobago. Then comes the US, then Costa Rica, and #4 is India. But the main thing you should know or think about is what it means is in any given class, they're not big classes. That's part of our learning model. So if you have 18 people in your class, they're likely to be from 15 different countries. So what you're getting to do is learn alongside of and network with and talk with people who are like-minded. Maybe they're interested in some of the same challenges that you are, but they're doing it in a completely different context. And you get to learn from that and share ideas and really grow by doing that together.
The other thing that's quite diverse is the age range. We have this little guy here, waving, saying, we do have participants anywhere from 20 years old to 62, people from all stages, somebody who's in college or, just graduated, somebody, looking to make a career change, or somebody, who wants to retire but start something new. So we get that question a lot. And yeah, we have a very diverse group of people, not only in terms of their background, country, but also age range. Here's just a, oh, sorry, Julia. Here's just an example real quick of the Global Leadership Diploma. You can see the UN logo there on it. And this is something that is a very heavy credential. People put it on their LinkedIn, on their resume, doesn't expire. And it does really, really add to the conversation when you're talking to a potential employer or, you know, perhaps a person within your organization. So here's just a little bit of a taste of what you'll see. You'll also get individual certificates for each course that you complete as well. Go ahead, Julia. Okay.
So what makes our courses different? We like to share a little bit about our approach, because obviously when you enter a new learning experience, there are a lot of ways to go about it. We work to make all of our classes really interactive. Obviously, there's a lot going on online these days. What we're aiming to do is really keep people motivated and engaged. This is not the kind of learning experience where you sign up and you are self-paced learning your way through a course. No, you're joining with a cohort. You have, as it says, an expert facilitator. Our facilitators are extremely engaged. They're engaging with you throughout the course. They're motivating you if you're falling behind. They're talking to you. You're seeing them in live sessions, but you also have the opportunity to do some of the work offline. They're giving you feedback on everything that you're doing. The courses are very learner-centered. So what does that mean? Almost every course has a final project that is all about how you're going to apply the learning to your life. So for your final project, you write a plan. Like, for instance, there's a course called Social Media for Social Innovation, about how to use social media if you have an impact-based project and want to spread the word. Your final project is to write a plan for your own self, your organization, or if you don't have one, one that you know well, where you can really apply this and see how it's going to move forward. So it's made to let you, after each course, have something tangible that you're ready to apply in your workspace. And then the global classroom we've already mentioned, but we really feel that it's a key part of the learning that is distinct from almost any other opportunity you can easily find these days around the world for learning.
There are two different types of formats, actually three. The last one is not represented here, but we'll talk a little bit about it on the next slide. So we have what's called a live virtual workshop, and the focus on these courses is more about the live webinar that you'll have with the course instructor and your peers. This is a big learn by doing approach where you will be with the course instructor, but put in breakout rooms a lot of the time and small group discussions. You'll be working together, you know, and using polls and, you know, really interacting. So those are typically 90 minutes to 2 hours per week. You'll have a set time each week that you'll meet with the cohort, and then you will have some supplemental readings and videos to watch. But really the main focus is on attending that live session with your peers and the instructor. Then we also have our online courses, which is a little bit more learn on your schedule. So you will gain access to our educational platform, and there you can go in and do the assignments as you have time. There's also a live webinar component to these classes. However, it is optional, and we do record each session. So if you cannot make one, you can always watch the recording, but it is a great way to connect with your peers and the instructor throughout the course.
So just to address a question from Sally, what times are the classes offered? We make an effort to mix them up. So that for the live virtual ones, you have to be there. We announce the times early. We do try, for instance, on courses that we often offer frequently, like positive leadership, we try to have it during the morning in one part of the year and during the afternoon in the other part of the year, because we have people joining from Australia and people joining from South Africa who might have very different needs in terms of their availability. For the online classes, those live sessions are not mandatory, and they're often set quite close to when the course begins, when we can look at the list of participants and do our very best to at least accommodate the time zones of everyone who's there. And I'm just going to comment, I'm aware that we're probably going to run over by a couple minutes. I'm sorry, we'll do our best to we don't have much more to share with you, and then we'll open up for Q&A. So we'll run through, and if anybody has to jump off, we'll send the recording. But please feel free. We'll stay a couple minutes longer.
All right, and we just wanted to give you a little bit of a taste of what's coming up with us. So the thing that we're probably most excited about is our Gross Global Happiness Summit, which is coming up in under just 2 weeks here. So what we have is the online summit and the on-site summit. So if you, for example, are not quite sure what you want to do just yet in terms of the diploma, you're not quite sure which course to start off with, this is a great place to start. It is literally a summit dedicated to happiness and different topics on it. And you can pick and choose the sessions you want to go to. So that's coming up here pretty close, like I said, online or on-site. And then we also have an on-site positive leadership, the 11th and 12th of March. So for those of you who are in Costa Rica, who do not need to travel, this is a great option. And we also offer positive leadership in a virtual mode, live virtual, and that will begin later in August. Tackling finance in the social sector is also coming up. That's one of those online courses that I was talking about, and design thinking, which is a live virtual. Once we end the webinar today, I will be in touch with all of you with more information on these courses, but feel free during the Q&A to ask more about them too.
Okay, so a final thing to address a question we get all the time, pricing. So the diploma comes in different modalities. The most common one that we have are people who take our online diplomas. The full cost for the diploma, including the coaching and all the courses, is $2,995. But we work very hard to set up personalized pricing plans to accommodate people's needs. We do offer some partial scholarships, usually in the realm of 10 to 25%. So they are not full scholarships, but you can always ask us about those if that's an important piece for you. But no matter what we do is we try really hard to break them into small enough pieces that they can work for you and your budget. With pretty much all of them, we're going to ask for a $700 deposit up front to join and be part of the orientation session, get matched with your coach, and start the program, begin it. And then we can set it up so that the way we do it that's different than many programs is it's not based on dates, because you can take courses when you want to take courses and when you're available and when the course that you want to take is available. So we do it per course. So you can set up to pay in 2 installments and 3 installments and 4 installments and 5 installments. And of course, there's a very slight administrative upcharge with each one to cover doing the multiple payments, but it's not we've worked to minimize it as much as possible. And the big thing we want to share is just that we would work with you on how to make it work for you, because we've learned during COVID how extremely important that is. It's been a rough couple of years for most people.
An understatement. All right, and then what's next? So like I said, I'll be in touch with you guys after this webinar. I do want to reiterate the next diploma cohort does begin on the 15th of March. So that's a great way to get started with us. Again, you don't need to begin your first course at that time, but we can at least get you in the orientation with the other people in the cohort and get you set up with your coach. And basically what we need is just a $700 deposit to confirm your spot. We will be talking to you about whether you want to do the Global Leadership Diploma or the Diploma in Social Innovation. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to talk through that with you and try to figure out what are the best courses that fit for you. What are you interested in? What do you want to accomplish? So we are very happy to connect. You can go ahead and respond to the email that I'm going to send you. You can also schedule a call. You'll see a link in the email, and you can pick a day and time that works best for you to chat with us. And then if you're ready, you can register. I'll also provide that link in the email. And below is just all of our smiling faces. You're seeing 2 of us right now, but we have other colleagues who are very happy to help as well. So with that, I think, yeah, just again, invitation to have a Zoom coffee with me if you want. And then if you want to get in touch with us, please do. And I'm going to open it up to Q&A. Does anyone have any questions on any of this, or the diploma program, any of the individual courses, anything that Julie and I can answer for you? Feel free to take yourself off mute and just go ahead and ask us.
Hi, I have a question. I registered for the regenerative leadership, I think a year ago, and I keep postponing. I've paid the deposit, but I am planning to take it in July. That's why I'm joining this. So I want to ask, what date exactly is it in July? Because Esmeralda, I think, is the one who connected with me. So, but I don't know the specific date for the July course.
Hi, Sally. We were hoping that was you. We were wondering because we actually started, we restarted regenerative leadership today as well, but it sounds like you want to postpone till July then, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, so we don't have that up just yet, but I can look that up for you. So I will go ahead and message you in the chat when I have that exact date.
And
okay?
how long does normally a course take?
They do vary, pretty much 4 to 6 weeks if it's an online or a live virtual. If it's an on-site, it's usually about 2 days.
And then for the live virtuals and the online courses, often there's a week or 2 weeks at the end where you're writing and getting feedback on your final piece of work as well. So for instance, the course that you have enrolled in, Sally, you write a project plan at the end of how you're going to build more sustainability into what you're doing. And I believe you'll have, it changes a little bit depending on what's going on, but you often have a week to 2 weeks to do that. And then you have another week before you get your feedback on that. And just to share with everyone, just to share with everybody, it is also very possible to start with one course and then move on to the diploma. So if you don't feel sure about things, we have a huge number of people who try one out and see what they think and then move forward from there, and that's allowed as well. James.
Yeah, thank you, Julia and Paula. I'm curious to if there is provision for scholarship from an NGO who want to take the Global Leadership Diploma and Social Innovation Diploma. Is there any provision for scholarship?
So there's not an automatic scholarship, but there are 2 things you should know about. Number one is that we do offer merit-based scholarships throughout on a running basis for the programs. For every cohort, which Paula mentioned a few times, that our next one starts March 15th. We also have another one starting May 15th. For each cohort, we have a number of partial scholarships, but they aren't full scholarships. They usually go up to about 25%, occasionally up to 30%. The other opportunity that's worth mentioning is that every year we do run a scholarship program where we usually have, we often only have 2 scholarships available, full scholarships available, but this year a Rotary Club out of Massachusetts has sponsored a 3rd one. So we'll have at least 3 full diploma scholarships that we can offer up this year. And that program will run, sorry, I say program, but basically it's like a competition. We ask you to apply for the scholarship by sharing what you do and why you want to take the course. It's very simple, the application, but we'll be doing that towards the end of March and into April so that we can have the results ready for May. So you can keep your eye out if you're on our mailing list, which you should be, you can keep your eye out for emails about that as well. It's stiff competition. Last year we had over 100 people apply. So having just 2 or 3, it's always really hard for our team to figure out what to do with all these amazing applicants who want to join the program. But we have the full ones, and then we often through that offer some partial ones as well. We usually pick at least a couple 50% and do our best to try to open it up a little bit for more people.
Any other questions? Marnie, Alessandra, Anna?
Marnie, go ahead.
Thank you. I was just, I was looking at the Gross Global Summit weekend, and is there a relationship between the content in that weekend workshop and the programs that you have? Is there an interrelationship? Maybe,
So
Yeah.
yes and no. Yes, basically. A lot of our classes are based in positive psychology. It's an interest of ourselves. The founding director took a great interest in it. And so we've set up a lot of our courses to include an overview of positive psychology in terms of what allows for well-being in an individual. And then we use that to frame how you can work in organizations, how you can work in teams and do that effectively. So not every single one of our classes touches on that, but it's definitely a theme that runs throughout and that you can run into in multiple courses. So for instance, we have the positive leadership class is definitely based around that. We have an organizational happiness class, which is about bringing the happiness of employees to the forefront of an organization and understanding both the business cause for that. So it actually makes you a better business, but then understanding how to implement it and do it. And we even build it into, social entrepreneurship and why that matters. So it resonates throughout. And then in the actual Grows Global Happiness Summit, a fairly large number of people who facilitate our classes will be participating in one way or another, giving a workshop, giving a session as part of that as well.
okay, thanks.
And Marnie,
And just-
if you're interested, I can also send you the agenda for that event so you can see a better view of like what exact topics will be covered.
Great, that would be great. Thank you.
It is worth mentioning for that one, we do it on site and online. The online one doesn't count towards the diploma programs, mainly because there's no way we can really monitor how participative people are or what they're getting out of it. The on-site version, which we do here at the University for Peace, does actually count towards the Global Leadership Diploma as one of your courses if you wish it to.
Okay, thank you.
Paula, can you send me that info too? If you don't mind.
Yes, absolutely. And
Thank you.
I do think both Catherine and Ariana are going to participate on the on-site version. That's going to be part of their diploma program. So I can give you that info as well. Would you be more interested in on-site or online, Debbie?
So depends on the dates a lot. But once I check them out, perhaps I can make up my mind.
Okay, sounds good. No problem.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Any more questions? Yeah, I know a couple people who are in here are already set to participate in the online Grows Global Happiness as well, which is exciting. Anna is, and James as well, right? All right. If you have any last questions, now's the time. And if not, we will most definitely be in touch. And then we have an open line of communication. If you need anything, Paula will be there and you can write to her, no problem.
Yeah, I'll be sending out the follow-up with the recording. We do have to download it and just edit it a bit. So I would say latest tomorrow, you'll see an email from me.
All right. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming and for
Thank
talking
you.
with us. Great to meet you. And hopefully we'll see more of you in the future.
Nice meeting you
Likewise.
all.
Take care,
Thanks for
everyone.
joining.
you.
Take care.
Bye. Thank you. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.